Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Why the Fuck Are We Reviewing This Piece of Shit movie show. Um, I'm Gabe. That's John, as usual. And we're joined by our friend Manda today. How's it going, Manda?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. I haven't actually been on for a while and I miss talking to you guys, so I'm excited.
We bring you in for the special kind of turds that we have to watch in the show.
Yes.
Last time, I
Let's
think
do
it was
it.
Morbius. You were here for, I think, Batman v
Oh yeah.
Superman, I think. The Falcon and the Winter
Yes.
Wow,
Soldier.
you do get
Yeah.
the worst.
I
Yeah,
get the
you
worst
get the
ones. You
turd.
guys hate everything that I enjoy majority of the time, so it's fine.
So this is what actually happened, Amanda. You saw the Triangle of Sadness, right? In
Yes.
the
Yeah.
TIFF, right? Okay.
Yes.
So I watched it Friday night. I was with Rachel. We were eating Chinese food, and I was like, "Why don't we go to the movies? Why don't we go to the movies?" And then I was like, "I guess we're watching Black Adam because like whatever." So I got the tickets, and then 10 minutes later, I was like, "What if there's something else?" So I found Triangle of Sadness, which was a really enjoyable movie,
It's fun.
and we changed the tickets, and it was the best decision ever. So I told this man to my left, um, I was gonna say right because it is right on the screen, I guess, but whatever.
It's fine.
I told him, "Hey, why don't we review Triangle of Sadness?" And he pretended he didn't know what I was talking
That's
about,
not true at all.
and he
So
made me watch
that is
Black Adam.
so. Let's
John.
actually go back on this. Triangle of Sadness
No.
is not playing at one of my local movie theaters, and by local I mean there are three within about a 2 mile walk of me, which
And
I
he
like
has
to
one
watch.
that's like 2.5 miles away, and it's just
But there
too
is
far.
one that's about 2.5 miles away, which is out of my like realm of like, oh, I don't really feel like going that far. And he was like, you didn't want to cross it's literally across a bridge. So if you're familiar with the DC area, I literally just crossed one bridge and I'm right there. But I didn't feel like doing that. So this week we're reviewing Black Adam.
So you made me watch Black Adam.
It's a poor decision.
But we had so much more to talk about. We had so much more to talk about.
I don't think so.
but
I
it's
would have
garbage.
liked to talk about the Triangle of Sadness because there was a lot to talk about there. So I would never forgive you, and you
Yes.
know that.
Oh man.
Um, I had to watch it last night. Like halfway through, Rachel was just asleep, completely. Like just
Like in
she was
theaters,
doing this.
Honestly, I don't blame her. I don't blame her. That's
No.
fine. I get
It's
it.
not. This movie was very long for no reason at all. Like
How long was it? It felt like 47 hours, but how long was
it
it?
was only 2 hours and 5 minutes, I think is the runtime. I can look
Oh my god!
yeah.
Was it actually
Yeah,
2.5?
Like,
2 hour,
God.
4 minute
I thought it
runtime.
was like an hour 48. Like
I thought
What?
it was 2 hour,
5.
5 minute runtime.
I thought it was like 2 hours 45.
My heart.
It just feels really long because they do the fake me out. They do like we're gonna get into all of this, but
Full spoilers for this
yeah,
crap.
full spoiler review.
Don't watch it. The review is don't fucking watch it. You're
Oh,
gonna listen to us
goodness.
talk about it.
There's some good things. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
the
maybe.
positive person.
I mean,
There's some
I
good things.
Let's start with a high level though, because
let's start
I
with
have an
high.
order here. Let's before the order.
All right.
It's Black Adam. Black Adam being, I mean, for those that don't know, but everybody knows, is this stupid ass movie starring The Rock about a C-list superhero that like 5 people like, who has the rip-off powers of another
he's not-
superhero that 6 people like.
He's not a
Um,
C-list. What are you? No. He's not a C-list.
He's not a C-list.
He's
like
literally the
Superman
biggest
Sorry.
villain
He
for
said
Shazam.
and who is Shazam? Shazam is a C-list too.
Shazam's a part of the Justice League in the comics.
So
Billy
are the
Batson's
Wonder
massive.
Twins. So are the Wonder Twins.
Finish your spiel since it's all
powers
organized. Go
activate.
ahead. Yeah.
I would have liked to
Continue.
see that movie, you know, before they
Would've been
canceled. Like
fun.
powers activate. Remember those
It would've
guys?
been
They,
funny.
yeah.
The monkey.
Anyway,
Anyway,
so
okay,
he's not
anyway.
I will agree with Amanda. He's not a
Yes.
C-list,
Thank
but
you, John.
somehow this movie turned him into a C-lister.
Yes.
No,
Yeah, I mean, he did that. Like,
I
Yeah.
would disagree there. The movie tried to turn him into a A-lister.
no.
because he's played by
The end
most
credit
famous guy in
scene
the
tried to
world.
turn him into an A-lister.
I
The-
also think that this
yeah.
was more of a Justice Society film than a Black
Yeah,
Adam film. And
it
it would have
totally
worked
was.
way better if it was just the JSA like introduction, like a JSA introduction, and then he popped up. Be like, oh, Black Adam, oh shit, with
I mean, I think that could have been a good way to do it, but I also don't think that The Rock would have ever played second fiddle to anyone else. So
He's
I
not in the
mean,
movie that much. He doesn't even have that much dialogue.
no, his dialogue is less than 10 minutes in the entire
right.
movie.
He was just
So
looking, brooding. Continue.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean,
is
that's
this
what
the
he does.
last push? Because we were just discussing this, and I caught the
Mhm.
conversation before we went live. But is this the last push of a dying genre? Like, are comic book movies meant to disappear because they keep doing this?
So
Yeah.
I know that you want to say this, and I know you want this to be true. The cynicist inside.
Yes.
But that being said, people have said that for years and years since the 1950s, when we had the super campy Batman with Bow and Bam and Pow, and then we get to the 80s and Burton's Batman, and then that becomes like overblown throughout the 90s, right? And
But it was not like this. Like you're like rushing through 60 years of history.
there are so many garbage superhero movies that you've never heard of or seen that were made. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like
yeah,
they're
yeah.
not being produced the same way because it's like a machine now. It's like a factory. It's not like it's an event where, like, sure, if we had shitty ones like in the 80s and 90s, there was kind of like more spread out. And honestly, I know there's a Captain America film out there from like I think the 60s or 70s,
Yeah.
and I didn't even know that
There's
existed
two.
until I googled it. I had no idea.
Yeah, there
So
is.
it's just the fact that, like, I understand what you're saying completely. Like, throughout history, it fluctuates and then it becomes popular. But this is like, we haven't had a break in at least like 15 years. It's not
I
like the
think
one
that's-
romantic comedy that comes out every
That's
2
your
to
real
3
problem,
years.
though, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not the problem that the movies are like coming out. We'll always get garbage superhero movies. We always have, like,
Yeah.
but there's not anything else to discern from, right? Like before, you would have a million other movies and you'd have a Batman or a Superman or
Exactly.
a Spider-Man or something else thrown in there. Like, I bet if we pull IMDb and we look at the history for the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years, there's not been maybe we go back 40 years. There probably hasn't been a single like year without a superhero movie. I would be shocked.
There's not been 6 months without a superhero movie. Like
I think this hasn't been a week. Like,
I mean,
just talking about. So
that's the
we're
problem. We have the same problem with Star Wars now, right? In my
Yes.
case, it's
like who's watching
No,
Cassian
but
Andor? Like
I haven't watched
probably-
Andor at all.
I haven't
watched
heard
one episode.
anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
Me either.
And
Yeah.
everybody's like, it's the best Star Wars thing since Empires. Like, shut up. They said about every single thing. They said about Force Awakens. They said, I don't care. Star Wars, I don't care. So we were just back to this turd. We were just talking about it. Like, just they keep like pushing these superhero movies, and it's just like they have a list of things you're supposed to have in these movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one just has everything, but without any sense of purpose or
Yeah.
like coherence or anything. And look, this guy's saying some like I said, DC fine, then won't be seeing this film regardless of what's at the end credits. Thank you for your service. I love it. I mean, because they did sell in the end credits, which we'll talk about
true.
eventually. So
Yeah.
I mean,
anyway,
they tried to
yeah.
pull like this movie, and I know that we'll probably talk about this a little bit more, is they're taking everything that Marvel did in 10 years, not saying Marvel did in the past 2, but everything they did 10 years prior, and they're trying to cram it into this movie. You have Adam Smasher that's trying to be Black Adam. You have Hawkman. You like all of these characters
wait,
are.
Adam Smasher is trying to say
Adam
Ant-Man.
Smasher is supposed to be Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And then you have Dr. Fate, which
Who's
Doctor
Dr.
Strange.
This is the
Strange,
biggest
naturally.
tragedy of this
Yeah.
fucking movie.
He's so good though. I love Pierce
Oh my
Brosnan.
God,
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
mean-
kill you. I'm gonna kill you. It's like
she
like,
just said she loved your favorite Bond. What?
If it
Yeah.
wasn't for
as
him,
Bond,
I
I'd
would...
be okay. Here he's
Gabriel,
just like,
between Hawkman and Dr. Fate, like, they saved the friggin' movie for me.
okay,
at
wait.
least.
Let's keep the
Okay,
order.
continue.
Let's keep
Sorry,
the order.
sorry. I'm sorry. We'll keep the
Because
order.
we
Sorry.
were
We
going
never
from,
are
like,
on order here, so like I don't know what he's
There are
trying to say.
tangents. I
So
don't know what
John-
he's talking about.
John, you and I, you were not there, but Amanda and Loretto and Ryan and Dives, I think we were all there. We reviewed the Black Adam trailer 47, which came out like a month ago,
We
right?
did.
Remember?
Yes. Yeah, I remember.
And we started counting how many movies were ripped off just in the trailer.
Yeah, I remember
What we
that.
wasn't prepared for is how many movies
Yeah.
would be ripped off.
In the actual movie.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, it's. I told you when I got out of it. You or did I tell you or did I tell somebody else? But my opinion was that it's a very worse version of Age of Ultron, which is arguably the worst of the Avengers
I
films,
hate
but
Age of Ultron so much.
it really is like a worse version of Age of Ultron. They wake up this sentient being that's, you know, based on the Mind Stone. Then they all have to come together and they have to defeat it. And the people that were bad are now good towards the end, and they all work together in one big. It's stupid. Like, to be honest, it doesn't work in this context. And they
Well,
also
that's
they
the
tried to
plot.
make this into like a Snyder's Justice League type of event. Like, and it just doesn't work.
I get what you're saying. I do. And I also think that certain aspects of Black Adam felt recycled and it's all like repeated, but also like all the superhero movies are recycled. All of them. There's not like, if it's originals because of the director's vision, and sometimes that hits, sometimes it misses. Like you can look at Ragnarok and then you can look at Love and Thunder. It's the same director, and both films feel completely different from each other, in my opinion. So there are recycled things that happen in Miss Marvel, for example, that I think worked, and it was good because the character works. So now moving forward, it's going to be the same run-of-the-mill storyline, the origin, everything that we see, we're going to like just see the same thing over and over, but it has to connect with the characters. I think that's what's going to happen moving forward, is like, that's the only way we can go forward with this genre, is if the characters are written properly and that we can connect with them.
But they're not being written properly.
They're not being written properly.
That's what I'm
I was
saying.
just, that's why I was just about to
exactly,
say. You can recycle things all day long, and I will eat it. My nostalgia engine that is inside will gobble it up. But when it's recycled and it's still garbage when it comes out the other side, and it's no better, you're not. Recycling is taking something, making it new and shiny, and reselling it, right? Like, they're not doing that. They're just, here's a lump of shit.
Here's what you know. Like, John, you and I talked about it in when we reviewed the movie The Fog. Like, we talked about how visually the Pirates of the Caribbean movies took so much from The Fog.
Yeah,
like the story, like the first act of Pirates of the Caribbean is The Fog. Basically, they took so much from it, but it's inspiration. You put it in a blender, you add something new, and then you create your own thing. This movie did not add anything new. It's just like, this is what you sort of like. Let's bring it in again.
Well, even down to the clumsy, like when Adam Smasher is giant in this movie, even like down to the clumsiness and him like, that's literally copying Ant-Man from Civil War. Like when he's like, oh, sorry, didn't mean to. Like, this is all crap that's there. It's the same joke. Like, they didn't even
Snyder
take time to rewrite it.
Zack Snyder slow motion.
I like the slow motion, and I'll tell you
know
why.
that we're gonna love the Zack Snyder.
Here's the thing. First, I'm gonna put this up on the screen because he says he enjoys Love and Thunder more than Ragnarok. That's Manda too. Yeah, whatever, man. I heard Black Adam was Batman and Robin level. I actually enjoy Batman and Robin 40 times more than this.
Yeah, Batman and Robin, like you can be drunk and watch, and it's hilarious.
It's fun.
This is,
or sober, I watch it right now. If it was
that's me with Batman Forever. I'm just obsessed with Batman Forever.
Same.
So I don't think that this is going to be the end of it all, though. Like, I don't think that we're cycling to the end of comic book movies. I think that people are way too hyped up. And
I don't know if they are as much. If you look at how much they're making, like the Batman,
this was his biggest box office premiere. The Rock's biggest ever.
Yeah, because all the Rock's movies suck.
Fast and the Furious, your love child.
But those are ensembles, and those are sold more on like him and Vin Diesel, and
I agree.
Whatever, Paul Walker, whatever.
The general audience isn't like going because it's Black Adam. They're going because it's The Rock, and they still didn't make the bank that they had projected. I think.
What were the numbers? Did anybody?
I think it was a little under. I think they wanted
to 67 million, but it made 209 million worldwide.
Okay.
So it's it's actually a lot more than this crap deserves.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. That's a $200 million opening weekend.
But the thing is that at the beginning of this, when they like released tickets, they didn't say a word about that mid-credit scene.
Okay? Oh yeah.
And then they saw the ticket sales, they're like, shit, no one's going to like buy it. Because I remember like I waited to buy my ticket like the day of. Like I didn't like pre-order it at all. And then once I saw the interviews with The Rock and name dropping and kind of like letting people know that the mid-credit scene is something that you should go look forward to, like you're kind of Why are you selling it that way? Why
But
are we selling it for a mid-credit scene? That's what's bothering me about it too.
Because there's nothing else to
because there's
sell.
nothing else. Yeah, there's nothing else in the movie
I
that's
know,
worth
but-
seeing.
There's nothing else. I mean,
And
That would've
also,
been
even the mid-credit
surprised.
scene. Look, don't get me wrong. Henry Cavill is like, I love Henry Cavill. Okay, like
Yeah.
in so many movies, I would love for him to be Bond. Everybody knows my opinion. I think he would have made a great Bond instead of
Yeah.
Craig, when he was originally supposed to be when he was in his early 20s. But
Oof.
I don't really need to see him as Superman anymore. I don't. Like, I'm kind of done. Like, and it's not that I don't want to see him as Superman. More so, I don't think that they're going to write a script that will be good enough for him to actually come back as Superman for. So I would much rather see him in The Witcher, and I would much rather see him in any other
Mhm.
movie that he likes to do,
Yeah.
than just coming back to fill the role of Superman because Warner Brothers can't write another movie to save their life, so they're just banking on his star power.
I think
he's
it's
not that
more
big of a
so
star, though.
Henry,
Yeah.
like, a lot of people pull for him, and I think it's more so that he's owed, and that everyone rallied like for him. The Rock rallied, like he literally fought for like a good 6 years to get Henry Blair like back whenever the hell this whole situation
What do you mean
happened.
he's owed?
He got the shit end of the stick out of everybody. He deserved a Man of Steel 2. He deserved a sequel. He deserved a trilogy. Instead of getting an unofficial trilogy from Zack Snyder, he, out of everybody, deserved a second film.
Well, didn't he get some
did.
raw deal with like his face not being able to be shown in movies or
Oh.
something like that? Like there was
Yeah.
some really weird deal that he couldn't be seen in another
Shazam.
movie. Yeah.
Shazam. Literally Shazam. Because Warner Brothers is like, we can't use Henry. And it's like, but he's literally right there. It just didn't make any sense the way that they used him. They threw him away after Man of Steel, to be honest. I love BVS, but like that's not like the Superman that everyone else wants to see. I personally liked his unofficial trilogy going into Zack Snyder's Justice League. I like
Don't
that they
start. Do not
No,
start.
I like that's
But
me.
no,
I'm not gonna
but
start,
she's.
it's,
I like where you're going with this, Amanda, because you're saying like I get that this isn't what everybody else sees and what everybody else wants. Everybody
Yeah.
wanted a Henry Cavill like trilogy.
they did like hopeful, cheery, I'm Superman, quippy jokes. Like they want
Why would
that.
we want? You want 3 Man of Steel movies where he like rips people's necks?
No,
and-
but I think people
No.
want to see him as Superman more. I do agree.
Well, that's something
Yeah.
I was wondering about because I think I tweeted it. But like,
Mm.
why are people seem very excited? And honestly, I'm okay with Henry Cavill coming back. Like, I don't like there hasn't. I feel like there's never been like a good Superman movie, like a really truly like great Superman movie. There's never been one. I feel.
Man of Steel's perfect, but it's okay. I'm not gonna say it. I love Man of Steel so much. Except for the whole snap. Okay, whatever the whole snap neck.
The snap.
BS,
How
I
about
understand.
the 1 million people that die where he's like,
That's every superhero movie.
Well, that's-
Everyone
yeah,
dies in
actually,
superhero
no,
movies.
no,
Yeah.
this is excessive. There's a point in
Gabe.
this movie where you're like, okay.
Did you watch Civil War? Did you watch what Wanda did?
Yeah,
And, like,
yeah.
are we gonna hold her accountable for doing
That-
that for the entire building? Like, come
That's
on.
what the
So,
movie's about.
can
That's
we
what
get
the
back
movie's
to
No,
about.
I mean, but like
Can we-
forever, like that doesn't.
Can we get
You know
back
what
to
I
Black
mean?
Adam? Because this actually,
Yes.
y'all are striking on a point that I really hated in Black Adam, where they're just like, you can't kill anybody, and like they just keep rehashing this like same
When
thing.
everyone in
Bothered
DC
me.
murders is like Wonder Woman kills all those people, Batman kills people, Superman kills people, like everybody kills people here. I'm sure
This is
Aquaman
what I don't
kills
get:
somebody.
is Warner trying to change their mind after like
I don't know.
half a
No,
decade of
it's-
allowing?
But they've always. I don't know. It never.
I
bothered me.
wanted to get to that, and John explains the plot, but whatever, you're just fucking winging it. But
Yeah.
like the fact that the whole point of the Justice League, sorry, the Moron League, like going after him was that he was killing people, and you should not kill people. He didn't do anything else except kill a few like commandos from some like weird intergang group. That's the name.
Intergang.
I keep-
Yeah, the intergang.
Intergang. I keep thinking like,
also.
what? So the only thing he does is kill some goons, and then they send the whole like army against him.
Yes.
That's incredibly why didn't they go against Superman when he was murdering Metropolis? Like,
I mean, there's a whole bunch of like plot lines on Superman and his accidental killing of like thousands of people. So like we don't have to get. And matter of fact, the entire Watchmen is built on that premise. But let's not jump in there because that's like a whole rabbit hole to go down. But
look at that.
it's
Somebody
not.
else likes Man of
you.
Steel.
Thank you so much.
So
All
like,
heroes kill accidentally, not on purpose.
yeah,
They're
I
like
get
Exactly.
that.
So why make
every
the movie
movie.
about that? Okay, fine. I get it. Why make the
Because
whole movie
that's
about
his
that?
arc. It was
Whose
Zach's
arc?
arc. The whole point was like
What arc? He didn't have an
it
arc. By
goes.
the end,
It
he
fits
was like,
perfectly with BVS. What are you talking about?
Can we
Because then
talk
he's
about
like,
how this movie doesn't fit with any of the other new DCEU stuff?
that is
By the
also
way,
true.
I
Because
don't
this
think that
movie is a
matters because
2007 movie. It felt like a 2007
no,
yes,
I
movie.
agree with you
that doesn't
wholeheartedly on
matter
that.
at all. That does. I
What do
don't
you
think that
mean? Like
matters at
they're
this
just gonna
point.
keep randomly bringing back what's her name?
Okay, let's talk about her cameo because Viola Davis.
There
You
we
were
go.
like, hey Viola, you want to come in? You know, Black Adam. She's like, can I do it through Zoom? Like, I'm chilling in Hawaii.
How many
Can I
times have
just
they
do it
killed
through
her off
Zoom?
now? Like, what are they
Wait,
gonna do? They're gonna kill her.
are we
and
talking
then
about
they're gonna-
Amanda Waller?
Yeah.
They're not
She's
gonna
never
kill her.
died.
Didn't
Viola
she
Davis
die
is gonna stay there
in-
forever.
Hang on, no. Didn't she
No
die
death.
in the last Suicide Squad movie?
No,
Which
she
one?
was even in Peacemaker.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't it.
She was in
Hang on.
Peacemaker.
No, she got
Also
killed,
via
I thought.
Zoom.
Didn't
Like,
they
she was-
like overthrow her or something in one of the shows and like beat the crap out of her?
Yeah.
I thought that they killed
Peacemaker?
her.
No, they didn't kill her. It was in
They didn't
Peacemaker.
kill her
though.
in Peacemaker.
No,
No,
they're
it
not
was
gonna
in
kill
Sui- it-
Viola Davis.
It was in the Suicide Squad. Nobody's killed her.
No one's
Also,
going
why
to.
is Bond's Ant-Man's grandfather or whatever?
I know. I saw Henry.
Fonzie? Yeah.
I was like, what? I was like, what? I'd rather see Henry Winkler as Adam Smasher at this point because that'd be really interesting.
Well, I also think it's kind of hilarious that they did the same, once again, calling back to Ant-Man, that they pulled the same, like, oh, this is the new generation. The old guy was Henry Winkler, Uncle whatever, versus in Ant-Man, of course, it's not. Hank Pym.
Well, then, and then there's a scene where they obviously needed Viola Davis to play a role when they have like Black Adam captured, and Viola Davis was like, "No, I'm busy. I'm shooting."
So then they got
The Woman King. I'm shooting, my next Oscar movie, and they were like, "Okay, so just bring in like James Gunn's wife,
Jennifer Holland.
Jennifer Holland."
Because everyone apparently watched Peacemaker to know who the hell she is in order to
Does it
understand
matter
Black
in
Adam.
this?
Like,
Does it matter? This movie, nobody cares.
Peacemaker was way better than Black Adam. Go watch that if you have a choice.
I love Peacemaker. Yeah, that was a good show. You didn't like it,
no.
Amanda.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I think the humor wasn't working for me. I was just like,
Yeah,
okay.
You don't like. I think you don't like James Gunn that much.
I think so. I liked the first Guardians, and then it just went straight down. I don't know what happened. So
I think he has an annex that you like. He does certain things that you have to like enjoy. His comedy is different. It's just same as like Ragnarok.
yeah,
I think James Gunn is more accessible than Taika Waititi because Taika
I
Waititi,
agree. I think so.
if you're not in at the beginning, he just goes on and on and on and on. And,
Yeah.
and
it's
James Gunn has a
repetitive.
bit more range. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. What about the guy who played Jafar in Aladdin?
I knew he looked familiar. Oh my god, I was racking my brain the whole time I was watching it.
Is that guy
Jesus.
the worst actor in the world?
I think he just has bad writing because I didn't know what the hell his purpose was this entire movie when I was watching it. And also, okay, if she is like so close to him, wouldn't she know the lineage of the crown? And wouldn't it be him? Wouldn't she know that already and not act surprised when like he's the descendant and can wear the crown and he's trying to open the hole and thing and all of that stuff? Like,
you would
Amanda,
think.
it was 5,000 years. Nobody's the descendant of anybody.
but wouldn't she know
Like
that?
in 5,000 years, like everybody's grandfather.
But
come on.
yeah,
It's
we
still
can
the
get into the
lineage.
timeline.
5,000 years. That's like how many generations?
First off,
I know.
that's a really bad timeline. And I told Gabe this, and it's like one of my very small annoyances is that the movie starts out and it's like before the pyramids, before any of this, and it's like 2600 BC. And if you do any Googling, like within 10 seconds, you will know that the pyramids were built way before that. So, like,
terrible.
within the first 10 seconds of the movie, they couldn't get something right. And that just set the tone for the entire movie, basically, that they wouldn't get anything right for the rest of the movie.
Well, then the narration was so lazy. The lady was just like, it's like, have you guys seen Blade Runner with Harrison Ford's narration?
No.
No.
Have you seen Blade Runner at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you have not.
Yeah, 2049.
I
That's
know
not
it.
Blade Runner.
I know it. I know it. Anyway, the original cut had Harrison Ford's narration, and you can tell that he was like not into it at all. He's like, "Yeah, we found the robot." Like, he just didn't give a crap. That's how this lady's narration felt in the beginning, because it was narrated by the mom. What's the name? The character's name? You know who I'm talking about?
It started
The
with an
mom.
A.
Adriana, is it?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, Adriana.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So, anyway, you know what's like really driving me crazy with these superhero movies and Star Wars things and all that? Like, they bring in like, ooh, this character from X movie or X show has a cameo on this thing, and you can clearly tell that they were nowhere around the rest of the cast and crew when they shot this.
You
like
mean how Henry
they brought
Cavill
in
was in nowhere near the same
near the
room?
Rock.
Yeah.
We talked about Viola Davis. She was nowhere near anybody. And then the one that bothered me the most was Jimon Hounsou. I'm sure I'm pronouncing his name wrong. He plays the wizard.
Yeah. My Shazam fan.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great actor. He's been nominated for Oscars a couple of times. He was in Blood Diamond and Amistad.
Yeah.
And anyway, he was nowhere near anybody. Like, he was just there, like, walking around the Warner lot.
Were near each other in this movie because of the amount of CG that was used. If we're being honest,
yeah.
Like, there were no practical effects.
No, and I also think that like everyone was in a different movie. Like, the direction was like, okay, you guys are gonna be in a JSA film. The Rock is going to be the villain in something, and then the civilians are just going to like pretend to know what's going on, and like that's literally what
I told Gabe this after I saw the movie, that the civilians felt like something from a 90s movie where like everybody comes out and they're like, yeah, let's go together, let's save the neighborhood. Like, what is going on here? Like, where did that even come from in this movie? Like,
they only had like 15 extras too. It's like it was kind of hilarious. People. Yeah. Did you guys ever play like Street Fighter 2? There was a level where there were people like cheering for you behind you in the you know what level? Yes, they would just do this while you fought. Like, even the fight goes on for 5 minutes. They're just like, that's what the extras felt like to me here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they could have been put in post because like there were so many scenes in this movie where like you see the camera and you're just like, they were not there. Like, you could tell that like there was a scene like where The Rock was standing at the throne and they like pan behind him and you're like, you can tell those people were not there. Like, that was all green screen.
It was empty. It felt so like lifeless at times too. Like, you were trying to connect with him, but it's like, I guess because he was like expressionless majority of the time. There's a way to be like reserved and still show some form of emotion. I don't think that he pulled that off. It was a good like role for him. I get it. Some of the better acting that he's done, to be honest, is the first time I didn't see him as The Rock. I saw him as Black Adam. But this movie took almost 10 years to make, and like it looks like they were still in rehearsals. Like, that's not right.
He's either like funny guy cracking jokes, The Rock, or angsty, The Rock.
Can I be honest? That's The Rock that I want to see. I want to see
angsty?
funny guy cracking jokes.
I don't know, because we saw Red Notice in those movies. It's getting
Did you watch Be Cool? He was great in Be Cool.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I would believe you because that was before he became like
that was like one of his first movies. Yeah. Second.
Did you Amanda, there's a guy claiming to be your cousin here.
Yeah, I sent him the link. Hi, Christopher.
No. Hi, Christopher, Amanda's cousin.
Hi.
Chris the Beast. I
mean,
yes,
there
there's
like
1,000 teasers.
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
For the new Black Adam? What do you mean?
Well,
like the new Black Adam movie.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the sequel.
I mean, I think that. Oh God, I hope I guarantee they will.
Oh, they're doing it. It made the bank. It's happening.
Yeah, they broke the 100 million opening weekend. They'll definitely do a sequel for it. The problem is that we are part of the problem of them making these sequels. Like,
it's because of you. I told you let's watch the Triangle of Sadness, didn't I? I told you, Amanda, you loved it, right?
Triangle, yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. That second act.
Yeah,
all right,
that
I'll
was
go
a
see it.
good
I'll
one.
go see it. I'll go
Cruise.
see it. I'll go
So
see it.
All
It
right,
was
so
fun.
I trust
wanna talk
Amanda's review. I
about-
don't trust Gabe's review.
Thank you so much.
what should we do first? Should we talk about the funny things first, or
They
the
were
more
fun-
like the
There
funny
Were
funny
there
things?
funny
things.
things? Yeah, go
Were
ahead.
there?
Yeah,
Let's
like
run
for
with it,
example,
go.
when they put the Rock's head on a little guy.
Oh,
Steve
a la,
Rogers
once
in?
again.
No.
No, they
See?
didn't Steve Roger him.
They did.
They had a guy acting, and they just like photoshopped the Rock's face.
Okay, there is literally a guy who is top billed cast on IMDb. Benjamin Patterson is Skinny Teth Adam. Just so y'all know.
Bye, Christopher.
Wait, who? Who?
So
Oh,
Benjamin
oh.
Patterson is a top bill for this movie, and he's just listed as Skinny Teth Adam.
Oh my god, poor guy.
God.
They
Billy
probably get him
Batson?
for everything. Oh my god.
Oh no, Shazam.
Benjamin
No.
Patterson.
Benjamin.
Benjamin,
Patterson.
not Billy Batson.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm.
But
just- yeah,
Gabe.
They Steve Rogered him. Except I
They
didn't think
did.
they didn't. What's sad is it looked probably worse 15 years after they had used that technology, which is really, really kind of impressive.
Oh my god, is it actually
What
15
technology?
years after
The
first
Photoshop?
Avenger?
Yeah,
the
the
Photoshop?
Photoshop. It's like 14
No,
years, I
Chris
think. Right?
Chris Evans was like or how did they do it? I don't know how they did it. No, they had a skinny guy play him.
They
And
did.
they
Yeah,
pasted
they
the
did the same
face.
thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
So
the
it's
tech
been
worked
12. It's been
better.
13 years. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
13.
Don't scare
it's
me.
pretty,
13.
Still.
I'm old. 13 years.
It's
Yeah.
let's see. It says, "Let's be real, Amanda. MCU fans were the problem with the DCEU in the beginning because they nitpick how different and dark it was. I don't think that was it. It
I
was
don't
just
think so.
mediocre.
That wasn't it. No, it
No,
was.
because I think we
yeah.
all loved the gritty darkness in comparison to the like. You can like
Yeah.
both. There's
I-
nothing
yeah.
wrong with both.
I mean,
Like-
the Batman was dark and gritty, and I didn't like it, but it wasn't because it was dark and gritty. It was because it was bad. So
I mean, you can look at The Dark Knight was dark and gritty, and that was
Yeah.
arguably one of the best superhero films of all time up until recently.
no,
and-
it'll always be one of the best
Oh,
superheroes of all
no.
time.
No,
Fun.
I
Infinity War
Yeah.
is right there.
Yeah, thank you. I was gonna say
Is the list exclusionary to
Gotcha.
5
No,
movies
it's
or
not
something? You just said
exclusionary.
one of the best.
Okay, it's top 5. I'll
It's
give it
Infinity
that.
War. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Anyway.
As long as we know it's
Um,
Infinity War, we're fine.
yeah.
All right, we want to talk about something else that's funny. They have this thing called Eternium.
Oh,
Yes. Like
yeah,
Which
fucking-
is-
DC has so all right. I'm gonna with this. I need to interrupt. So
Do it.
DC has this problem where they have not quite learned to adapt to the real world yet. So they use all of these things from the comic books and they keep the name. Gabe brought this up, Inner Gang, okay, which is like an international gang. Like they just left Inner Gang as being the thing. And this goes with Eternium as well in any of the other stuff. Like they don't adapt the storylines to fit kind of the modern era. So a lot of
Yeah.
these things are like holdovers from like the 60s and 70s where it's like, okay, I guess Eternium just sounded cool back then. So they just slapped the name on it. This is how we're going to end up with like the hand and the foot and the finger and the eye. And anyway,
What did you think about?
it's just my big problem is like they need to adapt their films better or at least change
agree.
things.
No, I mean I'm fine if we want to be a bit stupid. But Manda, what do you think about Eternium before I say my piece?
I don't know enough about it. It was supposed to be as kind of like kryptonite, if I'm like right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
but they
Was
never-
it
That
like
is my
kryptonite?
problem with it. That is my problem with it because it's set up as his kryptonite.
Yeah.
There's a big setup where he's actually like hurt and falls asleep or whatever, and they have to carry him and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, that lady and that guy would not be able to carry the rock up
No.
the stairs of that building without.
They would
an
need
elevator.
a crane.
Yes,
Literally.
Yes.
That's why it's all
But-
convenient, and they didn't
Yes.
expand upon it. So
No,
yeah.
the kid may help. I don't know. But
Shazam.
like, so but they set it up as this like kryptonite thing, and then it never comes back.
Yeah, they did. It's not
They
going to happen.
They refer
We'll not talk
to it
about
a couple times throughout the film, like on his little speed racer thing, the things that go really fast.
Yeah.
That's run by Eternium, and they mention it.
Yes. Okay.
Um,
Okay. Yes. So is it like vibranium, but it's only used by the villains?
Yeah. So remember
They put
that
in
rip-off
rockets.
thing that we talked about earlier?
That's what. Yeah. Exactly.
It's their ripoff of Vibranium, basically.
It's just a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah,
It's a mess
just
because they didn't
lazy.
explain it. Like Vibranium took like 5 movies to actually explain. If they
Yeah.
would have been like, "Hey, this is this dude's kryptonite. It was a meteor that hit the Earth."
Okay.
Yeah, that
Straight
was
up.
enough.
Okay,
You
cool.
two
Thanks.
need to stop saying these things that you two keep saying. We don't need 30
we're
movies to
right.
set up.
No. I'm
No,
saying-
no,
I'm
no.
not
Just
saying you need
explain
30
it. He
movies.
said it in a sentence.
Yeah,
He
I
just
said it in one
a-
sentence.
No, but
Just
you're
jump the
saying
conclusion.
it took 10 movies or whatever.
No, I'm
That's
saying
it.
it took 10 movies to do Vibranium. They could
It
have
did.
said it hit the Earth on a meteor, and now that's his kryptonite. That would have been a
That
good
is-
enough explanation.
it.
But they didn't even
Once-
give us
That's what they
that.
did in Black Panther. It starts with a montage with narration, and they have a
Yeah,
meteorite
in
that comes
10
in.
minutes.
And then it's done. And then it's
But
done.
then we got it from Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Like literally until Black Panther.
Age of
there was,
Ultron
like-
doesn't matter. It's just a trip to take them
But
to see
that's-
Andy Serkis. Like, doesn't
Oh
really.
my goodness.
But Andy Serkis is awesome. And don't
Yeah, he's totally awesome.
don't you say
I would
anything
never
about
crap
it.
on anybody
I-
that wasn't the Lord of the Rings
Okay,
trilogy.
good. Thank God.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Eternium was stupid. I want to talk
was.
about probably what the thing that bothered me the most about this movie was. Probably, but everything did, so I don't know. But there's a movie in the 90s called Mystery Men. Have you seen it, Manda?
No.
Okay.
He definitely
Doesn't
has
matter
not
because
seen
it's
this
a
movie.
pretty obscure movie. I think not a lot of
Okay.
people watch
What? It's
it.
not
right?
obscure for people our age.
Really?
Really.
I feel like
Everybody
I
watched
watched
it.
it
young
like
now.
I'm pretty sure that was an MTV movie. It was one of
Okay,
the
that would
original
make
MTV
sense.
I've
studio-
heard of it. I just haven't watched it.
I don't think
So-
you're missing out anything, to be honest, but it's about this group of superheroes who are essentially a bunch of morons. Like Ben Stiller is one, William H. Macy, Hank Azaria, and Greg
Pee Wee Herman.
Kinnear.
Pee-wee.
Yes, Janine Garofalo, whatever.
Yeah, Greg
Okay.
Kinnear is in it.
Greg
Oh
Kinnear.
yeah.
I may have
Janine
like
Garofalo.
saw this in passing because that all
Yeah.
sounds familiar to me.
It's not that good, but it's kind of funny. But they're like the world's like most stupid superhero team.
It's
Okay.
like the same premise as The Boys, except instead of like fucked up, they're just stupid.
Okay.
No, it's more. The premise
I
is
get
more
it.
like
get
Guardians of
it.
the Galaxy. I would say more like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, like misfits coming together, but they're dumb.
Yeah.
But these guys
Like-
are really dumb. Yeah.
Like there's a guy who can only turn invisible when nobody's looking at him. Remember?
Oh, muffin.
Yeah. This is like it's really dumb, but it's like the
Yeah.
era of. I mean, you're talking about the '90s. This is like Dumb and Dumber timeline. You know,
Yeah.
like dumb movies are coming out.
So I couldn't stop thinking about Mystery Men when I saw how every single person in this Justice Society was a complete idiot. Like honestly, everyone was an idiot, including Pierce Brosnan.
Well, I like.
I disagree. I
I
don't
don't
think
think
they were
everybody
dumb.
was an idiot.
How many times did Hawkman get his ass kicked in this movie?
A lot.
That's because of the writing and not because he was stupid. There's a difference. Like it was repetitive because of the action scenes constantly. And what bothered me was that it was the same freaking location. They
Well,
would
yeah,
move
I
2
was-
blocks and then fight again over the exact same thing. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
100%. I wish that I could not agree with you more about how like this is the reason that when we all found out that this movie was 2 hours and 5 minutes long, we're like, what are you talking about? No, it's 3 hours long. No, it's because it was the same fight scene over and over and over and over and
It
over.
was constant. Like that's why he got his ass kicked 5 million times. It didn't make any sense. Like honestly, they could have put the 10 minutes at the beginning with his origin story with the little twist at the end that it was like, boom, oh my god, the champion was a son in a Shazam 3, literally, and condensed it to 5 minutes. And then that could have been his intro.
I think that this movie could have easily been turned into like a first act of Shazam, like somewhere.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it really could have. Like if that's what they're trying to do with it, which is obvious they are, it's tied into like the whole
No.
Shazam storyline.
Because the Hulk is like, no, Shazam is not up to my level. I'm fighting Superman.
Oh,
He's
He
not gonna
actually
fight-
said that.
Oh,
He actually
right.
said
But
that.
now in a recent interview post weekend, like Black Adam box office, he said, The Rock said that that's not going to happen until like 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 movies down the line, because apparently there's a plan. They finally have a plan, and then Superman versus Black Adam is going to be like the biggest like show down like type of Avengers
So-
Endgame type of situation.
So does their plan involve the head of the studio leaving like the day
Yeah.
before this movie?
Literally, it was
Like you know that
convenient.
that's happened. Like there's
Yeah.
no more like the person that planned all of this grand scheme is out. So
Yeah.
There will not be 10 more movies after this. I swear to God.
I'll
I
tell you
mean,
right now, they're gonna start building a Justice League. It's all gonna come. I'm telling you, because Walter Hamada's out, and then they filmed that mid-credit scene in September with Henry
Yes, I heard
Cavill.
that.
yeah, I know
Labor Day
that
weekend.
they did that, and I also know that they pushed Shazam for this. So like there's definitely going to be tie-ins, but like
Yeah.
the real
cares?
question I'll have
Who
is like I
cares?
love the first Shazam, to be honest. I thought it was
Same.
awesome.
I love
It
Shazam.
It was good. I enjoyed it. I haven't thought of it again ever since.
I hadn't thought of it, but I rewatched it not too long ago, and I really liked it.
Okay.
It's a Christmas movie.
It's
Is it? Was it in Christmas? I didn't remember.
No. Like it just there's Christmas.
yeah,
in it.
there's a Christmas scene at the end.
It's like
of it.
Die Hard. you
Yeah.
know?
Like Iron Man 3.
Yes.
Yeah,
Literally,
but
like
Die
that.
Hard is much more of a Christmas movie than Iron Man 3.
Very
Yeah, I didn't
much
like
so.
that guy from the OC showed up in the end. I don't like that guy. What's his name? Brody something?
Adam Brody.
Adam Brody.
Aw, I
Yeah, I
love
hit that guy's
him.
face.
He's
But-
so good as Freddy. Anyways, we're gonna. Sorry.
I think we'll see if they actually tie all of this together and they can make it conducive. I highly doubt that they will for whatever reason because they haven't
It's
been able
too
to
late.
yet.
It feels like it's too late. I don't know why. It
Well,
just
I told-
feels
Late
like
for what?
To try
for
to
them to
save
build
this.
anything
Yeah.
now. Like I don't know, because we're at Wonder Woman 3, which I don't even care to watch, to be honest, because the second one just was
Bad.
terrible. 1984 was bad, but like I don't
The
even care for
genre
it.
is dying. It's dying.
I think
on me. I'm
what's
telling
going to
you.
end up happening is somebody will let it they're going to let it die or they're going to have to.
Yeah.
Wait, we were talking about the Justice Society. When we talk about them one by one,
Oh my
Can we
god,
talk
he
about them one by
really
one?
doesn't like them. You know, if he loops back around,
Hawkman.
he's got to talk about it more. Yeah,
yes.
Hawk-
I love
Hawkman.
Hawkman. Do not
So
say
I
anything
like
bad
the
about
actor. The actor's really good.
this.
The
Albus is
costume was awesome. The costume was the couple of times he was not made of CGI rubber flying around. When you saw the actual costume, he was a really good costume. That actor is really good. This was not a good role for him, and he was not good in it. I'm sorry. He was pissed off all the time. John and I were debating who he's trying to emulate. I believe he's trying to do a Ben Affleck without the sort of complexity that Ben Affleck brought to the role.
and I
'Cause
said
he's always
like
pissed.
a
and-
Falcon from pre him becoming what is now Captain America.
I didn't get that. I don't know. I felt like it felt like a different character and it was like his own. I didn't really see anybody else from like other superhero films.
What character? Tell me something about. We're gonna do this test again. Tell me something about Hawkman without about his personality, without telling me his profession.
They honestly did not explain his backstory, and that's the only thing that would have
His
helped his
personality.
character.
What is he
more.
like? What is he like?
Well, we have no idea. He's
What
just
are his feelings?
He's
Is
so
He's really
Rage?
rich.
No, he's just
though.
angry.
I know that much. Do we
He's-
know why he's rich?
He's been around for a very long time, from what I know.
Not
like,
addressed in the
Isn't
movie,
it like
but-
no? It's not because isn't he like from
Egypt
oh my
or
God.
something.
It was from
I
Egypt.
believe
It's the same
yeah,
type of
yeah.
situation where he's lived for so long, he gets reincarnated. That's his thing. Hawkman.
He actually
so-
has. Yeah, he has a very good story because him and
Yeah.
Hawk Woman or Hawk Girl, I don't know. his
Hawk Girl, I think.
significant other, they both live and die and then come back to life
And
and
find
find
each
each other. It's
Yeah.
actually, it would be a really good story for a movie. Smallville
Yeah.
did a good version of Hawkman, if you guys saw that.
Yeah.
And there was an episode where he was dying and it was like, no, don't die. It's like, it's okay. Like, I want to see her again. And this is not until I die, I will see her again or something. I don't know. Whatever.
So if
Doesn't
it's
matter.
such a good story, this is my problem. If it's a good story, then why aren't they telling it? Why are they telling us all? Like they're not giving us anything good, honestly.
No, because they had to kill Dr. Fate instead of spoilers. Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
sorry. They
No,
had
we
to
already
said at the
sorry.
beginning,
They had to
right.
they had to kill Dr. Fate conveniently because they didn't give enough backstory for Hawkman, so it made more sense for Dr. Fate to die instead of Hawkman, which
Yeah.
is the
They didn't
vision
give
and all of that.
So okay, Hawkman. All right. Sorry, the other moron. Dr. Fate.
Mhm.
He has like unlimited powers and useless powers at the same time.
He's like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
He's bad.
What are his powers? What are his powers?
You saw
Can he
it.
see the future or can't
He can.
because
He can see the
changes
future when he uses his helmet.
No, he can see multiple futures. He can because of his helmet. What?
And then he sees it without the helmet on.
Yeah.
I'm Googling, don't worry.
Because apparently all I know is that he was written before Doctor Strange. That is one thing that I know. So everything that is kind of pulled for the mystic arts from Doctor Strange comes from Doctor
Yeah,
Strange,
pretty old,
most likely.
1940. He's a golden age.
Yeah.
He's actually a golden age hero, which is like very rare. There's only a few of those on the Marvel side. Because
Well,
like
I
on the
can
Marvel
say-
side, you've got to think Spider-Man was not golden age. So on the Marvel
Yeah.
side, there's not much golden age at all.
The best thing I can say about Pierce Brosnan is that I'm very happy he showed up. He got $1 million,
Yep.
and then he went home and played a bit more golf. You know, drove around in fast sports cars.
Sang some
and-
ABBA songs.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. Sang some ABBA songs. Hopefully, he
Looked
didn't
at his
choke
painting that he
eating
stole during
shrimp.
the Thomas Crown affair. You know.
Yes. Did you hear what I said? Hopefully, he didn't
Sorry.
choke eating shrimp. You know what movie I'm referencing?
Yes. Isn't that Mrs.
Which one?
Doubtfire?
Yes.
I was like
Um,
sitting there. I'm like 90s,
Wait.
and
I
which
got
one
it.
was the
See,
evil
ha.
stepdad? Yeah.
I got it.
So, what about Cyclone?
I liked her powers, but there wasn't enough of her. And I
She
think
was a
she's really
storm.
smart.
She was kind of like a Storm ripoff.
Yeah.
Colorful Storm ripoff. Who doesn't?
I mean,
get
they
Disney
kind
when
of
she's
like
doing
hinted
this?
towards her flirting with Atom Smasher, I think.
That was a waste too. They had to fill time. They didn't know what to do with them.
They
They
did
didn't need
it,
to fill
and
time.
then
The movie already felt way too long.
Yeah, but it doesn't go anywhere. Like they hinted like a little relationship, and it doesn't
Yeah, they
go
do.
anywhere.
That's because
Um,
Adam Smasher is completely useless in this movie.
So is she.
And I know, but I'm pretty sure there were like deleted scenes of Adam Smasher because it just didn't make any sense as to the point of him being in this at
Matter of
all.
fact, he was more harmful than helpful in the entire movie.
Yeah.
So like it didn't make any
Well,
sense. The
it's
entire
just so
character
you
did
can-
not make much sense.
Well, and then the director was like, "Hey, please just do Paul Rudd."
I feel like he
Or-
did more Ryan Reynolds than Paul Rudd.
Yeah, a little bit of Ryan Reynolds.
I feel like it was more Ryan, especially with like the Mask 2
Yeah, the
being a
goofiness.
Deadpool
Yeah.
ripoff.
I
Like,
can give you that.
yeah.
I mean, the
feel like-
mask, but
Paul Rudd
he's
is really
like-
likable. Ryan Reynolds you like because he's an asshole.
And this guy Santini, or whatever his name was
Noah Centineo.
Noah Santini.
Santini's is the sub place near my
Dear
house.
God.
Santino was good, but he didn't do anything. Like,
Was he
I mean,
good though? I don't know.
I mean, he was all right, I
He was
guess. I don't
Playing
know.
himself eating a bucket of chicken. That's all I remembered, and that's it.
And
Which
then
is
Pierce
also another
Brosnan.
thing directly from the other
Yeah.
movies.
Well, Flash eats pizza or something or whatever. Doesn't he eat pizza or something?
Yeah, and then they had to explain like, "Oh, I'm hungry all the time because I have to grow sizes." It's like, we know, thank you. They thought the
Yeah.
audience was stupid the entire movie. Okay, the writing for this thought the audience didn't understand comic book movies, and there have been like literally almost 15 years worth of them.
They
That's
just
what
think
this
that
felt like.
they were like, our DC fans only watch DC movies. They've never seen a Marvel movie, so we have to explain it in the DC
Oh,
context.
they've never seen a
That's
single
literally-
movie in the world. Like, this is for people that have never seen a movie and are still gonna be surprised when, like, you know, the stupidest crap happens. They're like, oh yeah, you know. Like, for example, there's a scene where like The Rock is on like the city square, one of the 2 blocks that is this whole country, and he's in the city square and he's being
Perimeter.
surrounded by goons, right, with guns pointed at his head. But at this point in the movie, you know that guns are useless against him. But it's played like dun 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 dun, and The Rock is like, it's like, why are you doing this? You already set up that guns are useless.
I know.
But but here's the thing. They didn't, because in that same scene that they set up guns were useless, he gets shot by an Eternium gun. Why wouldn't they all just have Eternium guns? And then, by the way, they only show an Eternium weapon once in the entire movie, and it's
Yeah.
shot by
Missile,
some
listen.
random person.
It's convenient.
Well, also, okay, how does The Rock speak English?
That's another thing that people
Okay,
said. It
so
doesn't
I
make sense.
actually I think I might have an answer for this because Marvel explained it. They call it like all speak or something, and basically like gods have the ability of all speak, which is instantly being able to speak other languages, which is why Thor can speak to Groot and just know it. Anyway,
No, that is not in the movie. I will not give you that one.
I'm just saying that's what it is.
Also,
man.
at one point he says that guy took the kid in a bike. It's like, you don't know what a bike is. You were alive 5,000 years ago.
Like
how do you know the word bike?
I will say that that's funny because he like looks in the mirror at one point and he's like, "Oh my, what is this? It's a mirror."
Like the fish out of water type of stuff, like it works, but at the same time, like I feel like they were waiting for a laugh box. Like it was like the cue to laugh, and then no one was laughing in the theater. Like
No
nothing.
one
They were
laughed
waiting
here.
for each other.
No
No
one.
one. The
No
humor
one.
was so stale, and it's I hate like watching movies that have the joke and it doesn't land because I get secondhand embarrassment.
But shouldn't
'Cause-
it like these things have been tested to death? Like this is kind of my problem, and like so since we're getting towards like the hour mark, I want to get to that. But like these movies are tested to death over and over and over, and there are so many scenes in this movie that are just like, how did nobody catch this? Like, how did nobody? We know that they went back for reshoots for the whole Henry Cavill thing. You're telling me that no, they didn't test this in front of an audience, and somebody would be like, guys, this sucks. Like, this is bad. Like, we should do something better. We've already postponed it. What does it matter if we postpone it a little bit more? They could have cut the hell out of this movie, made it 90 minutes, and possibly gotten away with it, which is what I say a lot. But they really could have cut the hell out of this movie. You pointed it out earlier, Amanda, there are way too many fight scenes. And they don't go anywhere. They don't do anything. Gabe, you even said it, like Hawkeye gets his ass kicked, or Hawkman gets his ass kicked like 6 times. What happens?
Yeah.
Nothing. He just keeps getting his ass kicked.
Well, that's the thing. He keeps saying like, don't murder people, but they create like probably hundreds of millions of dollars of property damage. They destroy the lady's apartment just on a dick measuring contest. Him and Black Adam. Like a poor lady's apartment, they destroy it, and he's like, "But you don't kill people." It's like, you're killing her now. She doesn't have anywhere to live. There's a hole in her window because you're an idiot. Like, it's just like, that's why they're like, I think that the Justice League.
And they tried to put jokes in this movie. They really did. There were certain scenes where
they had two comedic reliefs because they were like, hey, we got the lady's brother who has nothing to do in the movie. He's completely irrelevant. They're like, oh, but he's like the funny guy, he sings
he needed to be in it.
What was that 80s song he was singing?
Wasn't it Baby Come? It wasn't Baby Come Back.
Yeah, it was
something like Baby Come Back. Yeah, Baby Come Back. Yeah.
Baby
Come Back. But then he's like gone for half the movie. They're like, oh shit, what do we do now?
And then he just
I don't know. Get a guy who can do Paul Rudd.
I mean, I was thinking about other scenes too, though, like with The Rock specifically, where he like busts through the wall and they're like, you don't have doors. And he's like, of course we do. How do you think we got in or out? And it's like, I was waiting, like you said, for the laugh. Crickets.
Yeah, it's so embarrassing. And even like Hawkman with Adam Smasher, the whole you and me. Okay, you said it 3 times. Like, did anything happen between the two of you when you went back on the ship? At least a conversation, nothing happened.
No,
so it's like those were just throwaways to try to make us laugh because they didn't write it properly.
Because they wanted like in that moment, I was like, oh, this seems familiar again. They wanted Iron Man and like Spider-Man, like that type of quipping back and forth of like the father son, like don't do that like that, and it just none of that landed. Like we've been talking about this over and over again. Like they just tried to steal. And they did not do a very good job at it. Like, they didn't adapt it very well.
Can we talk about the fact that the director has directed 4 Liam Neeson movies?
Which ones?
Taken 2, Taken 3,
No.
Taken 4.
Come on, no. Unknown, 2011's Unknown, which I did not see.
It's very unknown because I didn't even know that existed. So it's
same.
Cool.
Nonstop.
The train one?
I think I might have seen that. Yeah, the train one. I think I might have seen that.
Nonstop.
And then Run All Night, which I'd never heard.
I saw Run All Night.
In this. Okay.
That was good. That was pretty fun.
Okay, this is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, this was good.
And The Commuter, which I did not see either.
That one.
Joel Kinnaman was in Run All Night. That was really good.
So he's made a whole bunch of turds. He made House of Wax, starring Paris Hilton was in this, I believe.
Oh my god, yes, the 2000.
And Chad
Orphan. They just made the sequel to that. I never saw it because the actress looks the same, even though.
It's a prequel, not a sequel, though.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought they
Yeah,
just
if
had her
that
play the
helps sway
child.
you. No, if that helps sway you to watch it.
It's like, you still look young, right? You can pass for 5 years old.
She scared me.
Um,
So
he made Goal 2, Living the Dream, which is a soccer movie that I'm sure none of you have seen. But
I've never heard of it, but good for him.
yeah, so there was this in the early 2000s, there was this trilogy about soccer called Goal. So it was Goal 1, Goal 2, and Goal 3. Goal 1 is great. Goal 2, directed by this moron, was pretty mediocre. And then Goal 3 was just straight to video because it was just really bad.
It's not the direction, it's the script.
No, it is the direction. He's not a good director.
No, but in this case, it's literally the script. There was no structure to this thing, and then he had to. I understand, but like it's mainly the script. Let's blame the script. I feel bad.
He made Jungle Cruise.
This took forever to get made, though, right? This movie?
Like 10 years. It's almost like he tweeted something out in 2007. It's like, I'm going to be Black Adam. And it was like from 2007.
Yeah,
so,
but
like,
that's development hell, not in production. Like, development hell for 12
I mean,
years.
I think that this was in production hell, but that was because of COVID, not because of any other reason.
Well, I believe it was finally, like, they finally started making it when they realized that Shazam did okay, and they were like, okay, maybe we can do like a dark Shazam kind of thing.
That's what.
Well, this was originally supposed to happen like before Shazam, or that's what they originally wanted, and then Shazam came out, and this is like going back in time to try to fill in the plot holes.
And look, I mean,
more
I think
plot holes. So
we can do John explains the plot, but I would have liked you to try to explain this one. But here's the thing: I think that, and we should close it. What is it now? Almost an hour. The Rock, because he keeps like picking really bad scripts and really bad directors for what he does, he will never be the next Arnold, the next Stallone, the next, like his movies.
He already
like,
is.
I feel like
he did it without like even trying.
Yeah, he didn't.
But look, I mean, look.
He already is the highest paid actor in Hollywood right now.
It makes me sad, but I mean in the legacy terms, in terms of legacy, like it makes me sad that people like us, like we grew up watching awesome, like the Terminator, and we watched like, you know, Predator and you know, Tango and Cash, and then we grow, and then there's going to be a whole generations like of 15-year-old guys who's going to become like filmmakers or writers or whatever, and the action movies they're going to grow up with are these fucking turds. It's really concerning.
They're not, though. There are a lot of great action movies. We just talked about it last week. We don't have to like rehash too much. The Raid was a great example of like an action movie. John Wick, we've talked about all the time. Like there are other action movies that exist.
They're selected, but now the action genre is the superhero genre. Like the majority of it, at least. Like there's very little.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but there's always like there are some really good action movies. And what I will say is, what's nice about the superhero genre taking over is that the garbage that was pumped out by action movies before is now being sucked in by superhero movies. So now when you go see an action movie, Bullet Train, perfect example, did crap at the box office. Great freaking movie. Great movie. I love it.
It did pretty well. Like it did pretty okay. I think
not 200 million opening weekend.
Yeah, they're not going to see those numbers. No movie's going to see those numbers. Like I'm surprised that like Ticket to Paradise, which is a rom-com, with those two made almost like 90. Like that's crazy. I didn't expect that. And
most of it international, I believe.
Yeah, but still, like they made bank. Like rom-coms at the theater have been doing terribly, and it just makes me so sad because I love watching comedies and like even like romantic comedies in a big crowd. You love that, and even action films that aren't Marvel movies, like you want to see that in a crowd, and it's not happening. It's all going to streaming. Like we have to sit through Red Notice on Netflix. That's what we have to sit through now, and it's really sad.
It's all the Rock movies.
I am happy about Knives Out. Glass Onion actually going to theaters. I'll be going to see it the week it comes out in theaters.
But it's only going to come out in 600 theaters
in 1 week. Yeah,
it might be over 2 miles from your place. So
I'll drive for that one.
No, watch. I'm telling you, you have to see that in a theater with people because it's so fun.
Yeah, I really want to see it. So that'll be one of the ones that I actually. I mean, but my wife wanted to go see a movie this weekend, and what do you go see? Black Adam. Like that's about it. Like there's not much out. Even when you open up the app and just go scroll, there's not much going on as far as movies these days. Like there's not.
Have you guys heard? Yeah. So have you heard of a movie called Terrifier 2? Apparently, people are talking about it.
Yeah, it got released in Canada now. And it's at one theater. It's like literally one theater in my city. That's it. That you can go watch it at.
Oh,
with
in your
one
city?
Showtime.
So you could go.
I'm not going. I can't do clowns. Are you kidding? I'm gonna cry. I saw the trailer for the first Terrifier. I'm like, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm okay.
They're doing some really smart. Yeah, they're doing some really smart marketing, like that. People are fainting because of the violence and shit like that, which is completely made up, of course. But it's kind of interesting.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
Monica
was
to
like
watch
that.
next week. Are we going to be able to watch anything next week?
Well, we'll be together. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah, we have a wedding.
So nice.
We have a wedding. Yeah.
Have fun, guys.
We will.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, it's a mutual friend. I think we met each other through her, so it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
love it.
Mandy, it's always an honor to have you.
Yeah, we
love
having you.
Thank you for having
on the show.
me, guys. This was so fun.
You should really watch one of the garbage movies with us and then come on, because the garbage movies are so much more fun to watch.
Let me know like ahead.
Yeah, we can give you like 2 weeks.
What's ahead? What's ahead?
A week or like a weekend. Like let me know Friday for Monday, and I'll be okay.
We can try. I don't know. We're definitely gonna pick another like New York Ninja movie coming up, because after watching Black Adam, I need something that's just hilarious.
Okay.
New York Ninja was really good, man. You would have liked that one.
Yeah, it was really good.
I'll look.
It was this movie like shot in the 80s and never released, never finished. So they just had the reels of the movie, and then
they didn't have audio or anything. So then they redubbed it, recut it.
Yeah,
they rescanned it into 4K.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they just made up dialogue of what they thought the mouths were saying.
That's actually amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. really
so good.
Highly recommend watching it just for that. But anyway, Amanda, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, you guys can always follow me over at AMX ND Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. You can check out my website, candidxcinema.com, and my YouTube, Candid Cinema.
That's how you do it, Gabe. You see that? She has it rehearsed and perfect and out there, and you're like,
we don't do that.
It's okay.
We don't do that. We just go for like and subscribe. I mean, will people even follow us on Twitter?
I hope so. Follow them on
we don't tweet that much.
We should.
No, we just have differing points of opinion. We're
just hanging out. Next week I don't know what we'll see. I guess we'll figure it out. But it was great having you, Amanda. We tried getting Ryan, but Ryan hasn't seen the movie yet. So hopefully we'll get Ryan. He's watching it tomorrow. So hopefully we'll get Ryan for the next time as well, because you two have like a funny dynamic there. It's always fun.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.